I already cited, paraphrased one Milton Friedman quote. Let me paraphrase another because I'm sure I won't have it right, which is that governments will spend every single penny they collect and as much additional as they can get away with borrowing. So public choice tells us that politicians like to buy votes with other people's money, and that's what they generally do. Now, there are exceptions, as you indicated in your question. We had surpluses in 1980, 1998, 1999, and 2000. Why? Because after the 1994 election, there was a period where Republicans were actually good on spending, and Bill Clinton was willing to triangulate. And so for a 4-year period, government spending in nominal terms only grew by an average of 2.9% a year. Well, if your government spending is growing 2.9% a year, and your nominal GDP, which of course is very much related to your nominal revenues, tax revenues, that's growing like 5 or 6% a year. So if you maintain that trend line for a while, guess what? You wind up with a budget surplus like we did at the end of the 1990s. Likewise, after Obama's first blowout year, when he had his fake stimulus, well, then we had the 2010 election. We got the Tea Party Republicans, and again, for a while, Republicans were good. Usually they get corrupted after a while, like they are now. But after the 2010 elections, Republicans were very good, fought very hard. And what happened? We had a 5-year nominal spending freeze between 2009 and 2014. What happened? We didn't get to a budget surplus, but the deficit fell by more than 50%. We made great progress, and if we had simply kept up some sort of limit on the growth of government spending, we would have gotten good results. But it's all a function of how fast does government spending grow. Let me say something optimistic. It's not optimistic for this year or next year. But if you go back 10 years ago, Republicans in Congress actually were voting for and supporting genuine, good entitlement reform, block granting of Medicaid, building upon Bill Clinton's welfare reform, and shifting Medicare into a premium support system, sort of akin to what federal employees have for their health insurance. Those reforms would have saved over decades trillions of dollars and sort of taken that long-run trend line of government spending and knocked it down a couple of notches. Government still would have grown, but there was a chance with these entitlement reforms it would have grown slower than the private sector. And that long-run trend line, is government growing faster or is the private sector growing faster? That is the key challenge. We want to make sure government doesn't consume more and more and a greater and greater share of our economic output. And Republicans in the recent memory were willing to be good on entitlement reform. They sort of forgot all that because Trump was a big government populist. But maybe in 2024, Republicans will get their legs back under them again and be willing to do the right thing for the right reason in the genuine and proper sense of what patriotism should be.